Why is marijuana illegal? Many people speculate that it had to do with the processes involving medical and scientific hearings that wish to protect citizens from a dangerous drug. However, the actual story is that the legal fate of this plant was determined by those who had specific agendas to fatten their pockets. Before such laws were in place, marijuana was widely accepted. The first marijuana law in America was in Jamestown in 1619. It was a requirement that all settlers grow the plant. It was so vital to their economy with the uses of rope, sails, canvas, and paper that the people could have served prison time for not growing it. Also, it was even used as an exchange to pay their taxes with. Marijuana users lived a peaceful and unobstructive life. Even George Washington rolled him up a few blunts in his day. Canvas is the strong fiber created from marijuana that was used for ship sails, as well as the protective covering over wagons for migratory citizens during the 18th and 19th centuries. The word canvas is derived from the word cannabis. In 1906, the first instance of cannabis regulation appeared at Washington, D.C., though this law was not an outright prohibition. Later that decade, tensions grew due to the influx of cheaper Mexican labor coming into the United States, and the amount of jobs for citizens in rural areas began to shrink. Ironically, California was the first to outright prohibit marijuana in 1913. Many states followed their example. The International Opium Convention was the first international drug control treaty. In the U.S., it supported the regulation of Indian hemp, or hashish. It also banned exportation of hashish, unless the country had an approved certificate that the shipment was for exclusive medical or scientific purposes. Farmers wondered what the fate would be of their Renaissance crop that had been used for thousands of years for fiber and paper. William Randolph Hearst was the owner of the largest chain of newspapers in the United States. He invested millions of dollars into the timber industry and did not want to see hemp paper become competition. He was a bigot who could not stand Mexicans due to losing 800,000 acres of timber to Ponco Villa. He placed lurid lies of Mexicans and devil marijuana, which sold his newspapers, made him rich, and eventually got lawmakers to believe him and prohibit marijuana in 1937. Not only has his actions choked our environment, but also stabbed our personal freedoms to make a profit.
Roll another blunt.
The marijuana legalization movement of today can be largely attributed to the passing of California's Proposition 215, which in 1996 made legal throughout the state of California the medical usage of marijuana, controlled by the Oakland Cannabis Buyers Cooperative. It seems like only a matter of time before marijuana is widely regarded as a harmless drug and is legalized.
I was gonna get up and find the broom.
With the things the way they are now, many movements began in more liberal states like California before sweeping the nation and eventually becoming common law in the country.
Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. La da 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 da.
Local and federal agencies invest millions of dollars to enforce outdated laws surrounding possession and any use of marijuana. They basically want to reduce the funding to drug dealers, gangs, and traffickers by pursuing and prosecuting offenders to the fullest extent of the law. If you ask me, or many other people, this is counterproductive. Many states don't want to spend their hard-earned tax dollars chasing down marijuana dealers and users when they could be utilizing those funds for somewhere else.
I just got a new promotion, but I got high.
If marijuana was completely legalized in the United States and controlled like current alcohol and tobacco laws, not only would the states and country be saving millions, if not billions of dollars in the long run, but also turn the industry into an extremely profitable endeavor. As it stands today, marijuana is the #1 cash crop in America, as well as in Kentucky. It's responsible for over $35 billion worth of annual production value. Tobacco currently yields less than $2 billion.
Because I got high, because I got high. La da 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 da.
The biggest opponents of legalizing hemp are the drug dealers themselves. They make their enormous sums of money because of the absence of competition and the monstrous street prices that come from the increased risk. Legalization will lower prices and open competition. Thus, drug cartels, that may even include terrorists, will lose some, if not all, of their business.
Why was Proposition 215 important in the crusade to legalize medical marijuana?
Prior to the passage of Proposition 215 in California in 1996, which was the first actionable medical marijuana law, the first enforceable medical marijuana law among the states in terms of this issue, prior to that time, what you saw were quote, compassionate use laws in certain states, which basically said that medical marijuana has some value and it can be prescribed to a patient. Well, for anybody who knows about how doctors write prescriptions, of course, that is a federally licensed thing. They're licensed by the Drug Enforcement Administration. Physicians, even if they are they're licensed by their state level medical board. When they're writing those prescriptions to you, they have a DEA registration number that they have to put on their prescription pads. They're tracked, and they are not allowed to write prescriptions that are illegal under federal.
In conclusion, the legalization of marijuana carries with it many positive factors, as well as negating many negative ones already in place in today's society. It would generate billions more in revenue for the states and the country, relieve stress on current agencies on one less issue to deal with, as well as provide happiness to millions of people who just want to get a little high.